So we have, right now, we're all in the physical dimension. Every single one of us is in the physical dimension. And as I've talked about before, there is an ether, a container. So we're going to call this the container of the ether. And inside of that ether, you have the as above dimension that is here. And then you have the so below dimension that is here. Okay. And then in the center of those two, you have the physical dimension. So the so below is where the legal system was formed. This is the jurisdiction, because each one of these are jurisdictions. And this one is the jurisdiction that the legal system has been masquerading around as for the entirety of its existence, claiming that it is the only jurisdiction that exists. But the reality is that we in the physical dimension with our free will are where authority exists. We are the ones that are allowing access to this dimension or this dimension into this space. It's up to us. We're the ones making those choices every single day. So in each dimension, there are vibrations that are happening. And these vibrations are either going to make you more solid, more dense, more stable, which come from this dimension, or the ones that are down here are going, and these are all amplifying up here. The ones that are down here are going to make you less stable. So you're unstable, you'll be distorted on a molecular level. And when you get distorted on a molecular level, what happens in that space? You become sick. You start getting symptoms. You start not being able to have a life that is lacking pain and suffering. This is where pain and suffering exists. And the so below, the legal system, and everything that exists in the so below has put together this elaborate scheme that you guys have heard me talk about if you've heard me talk before, where they have through the food, through the medicine, through the water, through the air, through social media, through news, through music, through entertainment, all of these things, they have been using all of them as a way to keep everybody on a cellularly distorted space so that they cannot become solid. So, and also to keep us distracted so that we can't remember ourselves and we can't make proper good choices in our own lives. So this space down here, as I said, is distortion. It's dysfunction. And if you look at the legal system, anybody who's ever dealt with the legal system, had to do any process with the legal system whatsoever, it's entirely dysfunctional. It leaves you sitting there going, what is wrong with you? How how can you see this as efficiency? How can you see this as something that is viable, credible? Like you can see that, you can feel it when you're dealing with them. So from the beginning of their creation, and the documents that I'm going to release tonight after this show is a jurisdictional proclamation. And it goes over it has the images I wanted to share with you, and it goes over every detail of what we remember, where we stand, where they stand, why they don't have any jurisdiction over us anymore. We know that they started this because they felt pain. At one point, someone felt pain and then thought, well, I have to be avenged for this. Someone has to pay for this pain that I am experiencing. There's a molecular law that is making sure that this entire thing we're looking at here actually works, that it stays in balance, that it can do what it was formed and functioned to do. So its form and function is to make sure that the physical being in the center can actually pull from either of these dimensions. This is why free will exists. You have the free will to make the choice to either align with the as above and be filled with amplifying energy. And if you guys have been listening to Daryl, Doc, and all the things that he talks about, you know you have to be amplified to be in a healthy state of being. So what's happening when you are being filled from here? When your body is getting filled from this space, you're being electrically charged, molecularly charged like a battery. This is what can sustain you with eternal life. This is what is going to stop you from aging so fast. All the things that we have been choosing, to listen to the doctors, to take their medication, to consume content that is destroying our minds, to consume food that is filled with toxins, to inject ourselves with vaccines, to drink water that is filled with all these poisons. All of these, or put things in our hair, or put makeup on our face, or rub our bodies down with lotion. All of these things that have these chemicals in them, they are draining us of everything that we are. And it is a slow death. This is what is stopping us from having eternal life. It's what's causing us to age faster. It's not because it's another year, it's because it's another poison, another toxin, another thing that we are adding upon ourselves and agreeing with this chamber, with this dimension. We're telling this dimension right here, this is what I agree to, so I need you to take effect onto my physical existence. So if you're going to take effect on my physical existence, and everything that's down here is of distortion, of drain, of dysfunction, of chaos, of death, then what happens? A slow death happens to your physical body in the physical dimension. If you are doing the opposite and you're saying, I agree to this space, I have standards, I have boundaries, I am going to eat things that actually amplify me on a cellular level, that feed my cells. I'm going to consume content that expands me and grows me as an individual and my molecular matter, because every molecule that is in this space that makes up everything is all of us, from our bodies to the land and the air and the sea to the things that are manifested from our hands. All of it. It's all molecular matter. So are we amplifying that molecular matter? Are we draining that molecular matter? Which realm, which jurisdiction are we giving precedent here? Are we letting reign here on earth? We do it every day in our choices. Everybody's out here saying they want change, but the reality is we have to change. The change starts here first. It starts with purging everything out of our environments, out of our minds, out of our hearts, out of our soul that doesn't belong there, that can't exist there for us to actually be in this space. This space up here is the only place that has authority. You have authority in the moment that you get the choice. And every day we're walking a line. Here's the center, and this is where we're trying to go. Let's say that this center here is our creator, and what our creator said, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And every day we can do this and go back and forth. The goal is to get like this, right? That's the goal, to be right there. But we leave center and we suffer for doing so. And then we feel that suffering. And if we don't self-reflect on that suffering, then we continue to make a choice to go back out this way. I don't know who's drawing. But if we go out this way, then we are continuing to go further and further from center. So the suffering just gets worse and worse and worse the further that we go away from center. But the beautiful part about it is every single choice that we made to leave is an opportunity to make a choice to come back. But it takes self-reflection. It takes looking in the mirror and seeing our own reflection and not denying what we see and justifying what we see and trying to find a way around it or a loophole around it. And that's what a lot of people do, is how can I find a loophole that allows me to have the protection of this center line right here? Because you're protected when you're in the center. That is the armor of God that we've heard about. You're protected there. So how can I have that protection without actually having to be in there? And I'm here to tell you it's not possible. It is not possible for you to have it. You have to make the choices that are uncomfortable and that you may not want to make. You have to purge the things that you're holding on to that you may not want to let go of. You have to face and deal with reality, not try to find vices that help you escape it so that it's easier for you to deal with what's right in front of your face. Everybody's got a vice. I don't care what it is. It could be a narcotic. It could be a drug. It could be a person. It could be anything. It could be a food. You got to let go of your vices, okay? So that you can stay in center and have the protection that you're asking for. There is no loophole around it. And I'm here to testify and profess out of my mouth that because of the fact that I was one of those people. I was one of those people that went every single direction to try and find the back door and the loophole to get around having to change, to get around having to be responsible for myself, to get around all of it. Instead of saying, you know what, I have to consider every single molecule that is inside of this ether, everything in the as above, everything in the so below, and everything in the physical dimension. I have to consider it. I have to consider my vibration within it. I have to consider the impact that I have on every molecule, because you have to look at this ether also as you look at your body. You have a body, it has organs, it has form and function. What happens when you put things in your body or on your body that do not belong there, that do not amplify it, that do not feed it more life? You inflame the body. So what happens when you inflame the body? You start getting alerts, and those alerts start to become diseases. It's diseased. So now it's giving you disease. So the same thing is happening inside of the ether. And we have to start to realize that we are the cause of it. We are the ones that are inflaming the system. And the so below, this is what I was saying to my team just 2 days ago, is we're not here to say that we are authority over them, just like they can't say that they are authority over us. They can't, because they don't even have access to this dimension. None. If they had access to it, and the reason I know they don't have access to it is because when you have access to up here, and everybody on this call that knows this, when you have access to the kingdom and its wisdom, you don't act like the people down there. You don't act like the legal system. You know that they act the way they do because they don't have access to what we know. So therefore, they don't have access to act differently. They are stuck, incapacitated. And their main goal is to incapacitate every other being on earth so that they can never be in their real jurisdiction. So what I did in 2023 with these documents that are about to go public is I served the FTC, FBI, IRS, Homeland Security, State Treasury, Texas Secretary of State, U.S. Treasury, and Donald Trump. A black book. They all got a black book with laminated pages, and they got a declaration of kingdom to restore this jurisdiction on earth and let them know what our territory is, who our people are, how our economy works, how we're going to bear our children and take care of ourselves in our medical and all of those things. We put all of that out there. We also sent them a notice. And in that notice, we said, prove to us that you and every single body that is out there in your agency is making sure that our eyes are seeing, our mouths are moving, our lungs are working, our ears are hearing, our organs are doing what they're supposed to do, that you're the reason that I comprehend and process information, and that you can stand between me and my ability and my body's ability to do those things. And if you can't do that, then you have no jurisdiction here.